No, Kenya. Kenya, Kenya, Kenya. Girl, we started off good. We started off good in the beginning of this episode, and then it's just a shift. Then, then the real Kenya showed up. Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for Real Housewives of Atlanta. This is season 13, episode 4. Look, like I said, you know me and Kenya, we have our thing, honey. It go round and round and round. And we started off real good. The beginning of this episode, I was like, oh, come on, Kenya. Now good, good job, Kenya. Then it just went left. It just went left. She was doing so good, and then, but was she provoked? Maybe just a little bit. Let's talk about it. Now, look. So we start off. We got Cynthia and Mallory and Kenya all go to this here little yoga. They had a little yoga date. And they go down to the little yoga joint, honey, and they're sitting there doing their little thing. And funny, Kenya, she just sat up in that house, baby, and the whole COVID situation that got her like it done got everybody, child. She's feeling thick and feeling tight. And shit just ain't moving like it usually moves. So I was feeling bad for her. I was like, oh, okay, yeah. I'm like, for that to be happening on camera, it just was like, okay. And she did. She made some jokes about it, about, my hip ain't moving right because it ain't been moved like that in a while. And she's making fun of her situation, the whole thing. I do, even as much as I don't really care for Kenya that much, I have a soft spot about stuff that happens as far as that marriage. That marriage, I don't care. I don't care what things she did. Nobody deserves to be treated the way that she was treated in that marriage. That Mark, he's a horrible person. That's just terrible. But she made a couple jokes about that. But we know Kenya is very funny about her looks and how she comes across, her persona. So I thought it was big of Kenya, and I gave her some points, to show that she was having some struggles with, weight and her flexibility and stuff. Because, Kenya, stuff like that, she won't usually be wanting to show you stuff like that. So I was giving her points and said, go ahead, Kenya, all right. And then she was pretty much, I think, a stand-up friend to Cynthia for once. Cynthia was starting back into this foolishness. Because, Cynthia, you're just ridiculous. This whole thing about this wedding, I'm like so tired of talking about it. And it just is ridiculous. And it's just, she's all in her feelings and she's just all over the place and she's just all mean. I'm like, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. You literally, in the first marriage, you were a complete pushover. Shit was raggedy from the door with Peter. Only thing that was really stellar is that you loved Peter. Period. Cynthia loved Peter, and nobody can argue with that. Nobody can refute that. Nothing. She loved her some Peter Thomas. Period. As much as people said, no, girl, no, no, no. Girl, look out. Girl, run, bitch. All that. Cynthia loved Peter. But child, money wasn't right. Peter wasn't right. Shit just didn't look right. You couldn't see the forest through the trees. Shit just was raggedy. This time, shit's on board. Everything seems to be okay. The man got his stuff together. His money is okay. And all those things, the things that weren't right before are right now. And you are doing the absolute most. And Kenya was trying to tell her that because she ain't listening to nothing Mallory say. She's already written Mallory off. She thinks that Mal is basically siding with Mike, and she ain't listening to Mal. Mal is coming across like, kind of like a public enemy number one. And I'm like, that's so ugly, Whereas I would have understood that if you would have gave Mallory that with the Peter thing, because Mallory and the mother was being ridiculous as pertaining to Peter. they were trying to block it. But I mean, they really did have her best interest at heart. But the way they were going about it was so sideways. But anyway, Kenya, she pulled back for a minute. She listened to her. She said, "Just shut up and let me talk." I said, "Girl, okay, you want to slice you, honey?" But she did. She shut up. She let her talk, and then Kenya came through and was like, "Girl, listen," and she put it down. And for whatever reason, Cynthia received it. It didn't become a fight. She didn't. Kenya pulled her feelings out of, Kenya don't like that shit. Kenya don't like that shit. And she dare Cynthia, honey, speak to Kenya like that. Cynthia, you are an underling, and don't you dare speak to me that way. You notice how Kenya gets down with Cynthia. That's how she give it up with her. Girl, you ain't on my level. Girl, you be glad I'm being your friend. Bitch, you crazy. But she pulled back, let her talk, let her get it out, and then she filled in the blanks. And Cynthia got it. And I was totally satisfied. Totally satisfied. I said, good job. I even wrote that down in my notes. I said, good job, Kenya. And it was genuine. And then she was talking about how, the whole thing with the engagement. And she said that she really felt bad. She basically stood up to the fact that she was on some fuck shit as pertaining to that engagement and her giving up that. That was some old jealousy. Some old jealous Kenya Moore, old green with envy bullshit. And she basically admitted it and said she want to make it better. She wants to fix that. And I said, okay, cool. Next thing we see, Kenya meet up with Candy, and she's planning to have this surprise engagement party for Cynthia to make up for what had actually happened. I said, well, damn, Kenya, she's really on, like, just doing the right things and doing nice things that she ain't got to do. I said, okay. And she did. She wants to fix it. She wants to fix it. She wants to make sure that Cynthia knows, I'm really your friend. I'm really in your corner. I don't want you to make the mistakes that I've made. I want to help you out. And I'm like, now I like this. Now this Kenya I can deal with. This is cool. But she wanted Candy to kind of pretend that she's the one hosting an event so that people come. Because you got Portia, Marlo, and also one other person. Portia, Marlo, and there's somebody else that probably won't come because they don't fool with Kenya. They just won't mess with her. I can't think of who the third person is. But, folks don't be messing with them. Definitely Portia and Marlo. Ain't gonna mess with her. But anyway, so she wants Candy to kind of step in her. Candy's like, okay, I'll do it, but I don't really want to get all caught up in this. So Candy's like in her head with it, but she's like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. So then we start seeing Kenya. I said, I knew somebody was going to do it, but I figured it would be Kenya. Is starting to question Portia's efforts. She's starting to question Portia's efforts, and she's starting to say a couple little things. And she keeps making reference to, she's like, how is it that, she said, I feel like she's kind of putting herself in harm's way, and I feel like she's doing it for the camera. See, this is the stuff. This is the stuff. So I was just kind of like, oh, jeez. See, that's why I didn't want too much of this. But I guess we have to accept this is basically going to be Portia's story. It is. It is what it is. This is Portia's storyline. I hope that she's pretty genuine with this thing. I just hope she is. It's going to show. As the show wraps, it'll all tell itself. Whatever. Bullshit always tells itself. I believe that she's pretty sincere, but again, it definitely is her storyline. I'm convinced in the 4th episode that this is completely Portia's storyline. I hope Bravo doesn't flip it on its side and Portia end up looking disingenuous, and that Bravo waters down the message by doing too much. And I kind of think it's like I can see it. I can see it. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. And it's already started in my comments. My comments, I got people that say, oh, shame on you. Oh, shame on your ass. It is what it is. What you want me to sit up here and lie to you? That's not what I do on this channel, and y'all know it. You may not agree with me, and that's fine. There's no problem with that, but there is no shame on me. I see it how I see it. I'll deliver it. You do what you will with it. You can speak about it, but there is no shame on me. Shame on you. Shut up. It's my shit. Anyway, shame on you. The fuck? Anyway, try to scream when I say that is shame on me. Okay. Are you okay? The review, when I opened up, the whole little thing lit up and said Spillitboy, which meant it was really all about how I felt about what I watched, right? Ain't no shame on me. Shame on you. Now you make your comment, but it's not a spot for you to think you can't chastise me. You got me fucked up. But anyway, shame on you. Anyway, down off my soapbox, but don't bam it, and I'm back. You can. At all times, you could converse with me. You could talk to me. You could tell me what your comment is, like I told you what my comment is. But at no point can you chastise me. You can't raise a man, and I am very much a grown-ass man, just so that we're clear. Shame on you, honey. Anyway, moving on. Kenya, when is this lesbian energy that's showing up? How many times did y'all shame on me about me saying that Kenya can't find a man because she be looking for a woman? Now, did y'all not sit or see, I hate to be that bitch. See, and you see, it has shifted things. With the shame on you, we done shifted. Now I'm on my patty. So, I've told y'all a million times, you can't find a man when you're looking for a woman. Didn't I say that? How many times have I said that? How many times have me and you all, some of you all, going around and around about that? Is she not sitting at that table telling you all, playing that game with all that lesbian energy, that she like Latoya, honey? She like Latoya, and she think Latoya like her, but she threw it. You know how people play that little gay game, honey? That's the little gay game. It's funny style, honey. Funny style. Where you tell her, oh, I think she like me. She's trying to come over to my house and stuff. I think she thinks that she could get, like turn me on or something. Girl, you sitting there just speaking about it to Candy, and your panties is wet now. What game you playing? Like I said, funny style, honey. You and Candy. I sat there, I said, come on, lesbian energy, honey. I just live. And I'll go back and I'll say it again, and we can get it started again. It seems like one of the prerequisites down there, you got to be bisexual, honey. These women are bisexual. Period. 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 And Kenya's thing, I don't think she ever going to find a man. I really don't. That she's really happy with and is happy with her, because I really feel a lesbian energy. And it's not, I feel more of a lesbian energy from Kenya than I do a bisexual energy. I feel like yes, she lives in the bisexual lane, but it leans more to women. And there's no shame in it. It is what it is, but don't be trying to keep convincing me. And stop trying to convince yourself. Girl, you like girls. Anyway, and you like Latoya's ass. And she's a free spirit, girl, so get the licking, honey. Anyway, moving on. So next we see this Ralph and this Drew, child. And they go in this counselor. Honey, that Ralph got a lot of issues. Him and Drew. Literally. They both got some issues. Both of them. That whole marriage is dysfunctional as hell. And it is just as bad as the one that Kenya was in. When you really sit back and start looking, I went from, oh, to, that shit's all fucked up. I'd be single forever before I sit into a marriage like that. They seem so miserable. They literally, like when they first came on, they filmed that scene and they put on that little thing for us, and then you really got to get, that's a miserable life. tiptoeing around and tiptoeing around. Never. Never. I'm not doing it. And here, only time I tiptoe around in here is because I done put on a pair of heels, and that's what I choose to do. That's it. That's the only time I'm tiptoe. I bet I don't tiptoe around no piece. Bet I don't tiptoe around nothing that I lay down with. Not going to happen. That's crazy. And I feel like Drew tiptoes 24 hours a day. And I believe the mama wants Ralph to tiptoe around her, but he won't. Because Ralph is he's mean. Cute. He really is a cute little guy. But he just is mean as a goddamn black rattlesnake. And he will not give that mother none of what she wants. And in that little counseling session, it kind of came out there. That mama runs over Drew's daddy. And Ralph sees it and gives her at every corner, bitch, don't try me. Don't try me. So on that, I can't blame him for that. But it just is just as fun. The whole situation is just a mess. And the mama need to go the fuck on home or wherever she come from. She need to go ahead. If Drew decides to do whatever that is she's doing, you need to go ahead and let it work its way through. You're not helping the situation, mama. You're not helping the situation. You need to go on home so Drew can process. She don't need an ally in the bullshit. She needs to work through it to where she's tired and get out of it. That's what she needs. And you're not helping. Your presence is not helping. It is just creating more of a kerfuffle. Period. And so I'm looking at the little council lady. She's sitting there. And a lot of things came out. Drew's questioning his connection to her oldest child because the oldest child is not his. So she's questioning that. And then I said, okay, I'm like, well, first of all, if I ever had sensed that, there would have never been a marriage. If there was any type of a question, I wouldn't have been in a marriage. It just wouldn't happen. If you and him don't connect, there is no you and me, period. Because I'm not going to be put in a position to have to choose between you and him because you're going to always lose. So that's that. I wouldn't even do that. I would already chose, and you'd be gone. So that would be that. But then I really don't think that actually is it. The more they talked, I don't think that was it. I don't think that's it. I just think that's him. He's not an affectionate person. Period, it seems. He really is not. And she is not affectionate toward him. Because I think at this point, I think she loves her husband. I think she loves her husband. But I don't think she likes her husband. So there's no affection. And we're going to get to it, but listen. So they start talking and you see the meanness in him. And the narcissism is really something really serious and really deep as pertains to Mr. Ralph. He started telling the story about how he was living with his mom and his dad, and the mom separated. He was there with the mom. He felt underappreciated because he had to step up as the man of the house. And he felt underappreciated by the mom. And the way he started talking was like him and the mother, like she's your mother. Y'all are not a couple. Y'all not a couple. That dynamic is off. You got it all wrong, sweetheart. And he felt as though she didn't appreciate him, so he made her pay. Basically, he left. He left. And he went to live with his dad. And with the dad, and the mom was mad, as out of order too, because she built that situation of like him feeling like he an equal partner in this. Ain't no equal partner. Parent-child, it's like this. And it always stays like that. It ain't never like this. Never. Not even if you live together. If you live together with a parent, it's like this. It ain't never like this. Because you ain't gained a goddamn day on me. Every day your ass got older, my ass got older. And I was here first. It ain't never like this. It's always like this. Parent-child. Period. Period. So that's some bullshit. And your mama, she wrong to even build that for you to feel like y'all in a 50-50 type of situation. And so he felt underappreciated, which I can't get mad at him for feeling that way because she put him in the position to even have to address that situation with her. And then he left, and again, her fault because she obviously couldn't make it without him, which is a terrible place that you put your child in, which meant that bitch you was lacking and slacking. And after he left, she ended up getting evicted. Now, you a mean motherfucker though. Okay? You mean. Now, to do that to some old raggedy bitch in the street, you roll out on them because you know they're going to fall on their face when you roll. That's one thing when you roll out on an old raggedy bitch you done found in the street that you've been banging around. But when you do that to your mother, that's a little something different, sweetie. That's a whole lot of something that goes on with your character. And basically, you made her pay. You made her pay. When she didn't act the way that you chose for her to act, you rolled out on her and you made her pay. I ain't got no problem with that in the street. But you just kind of don't do your parents like that. I don't know. You did that with your parent. And then you went over to the father that wasn't shit either. So what was the difference? You really, though, was making your mother pay. You were making her pay. Because your father wasn't no better than your mother. You sat right there and talked about how your father, how y'all was rested on damn near homelessness. And all there was beer in the refrigerator. So that motherfucker wasn't no better than the woman that you left. But you left her to make that happen because you wanted to show her. You want to prove to her, you can't make it without me, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to punish you. She's her mother. You don't get to punish your mother. Not and think that you correct. You do it. But to punish your mother and think you really did something? Character flaw. Anyway, so, and then Drew, you knowing that, and you willingly entered into a union with someone that let you know my mother didn't do what I wanted her to do, and I punished her. I punished her all the way to the point that she was evicted and had to live at a shelter. What you think you gonna get? What do you think that you're gonna get? Why would you even want to marry into that type of a situation? That shit's up. And bring children into it? You want to make a family with a family like that. The mama and the daddy ain't shit. He mean as hell. And feels like he could punish the mama and the daddy for not being shit. And what'd you do? You jump in and go have some babies by him. Okay, girl. Alright. Well, I mean, whatever. You know, girl, you made your bed. That's all I can say. You made your bed. Anyway, he not affectionate. Later on, we get into this whole thing of, he's saying, you know, me and the dad got sick and they had to go to the dad. He had a heart attack and they were going to go down, and before they even got there, the dad passed away. Horrible. He passed away. So they're having this whole conversation. He's telling her about, like, basically, I was planning on doing this, that thing, and the other with my dad, things that we never used to be able to do. He basically, because now I got it going on. So I wanted to go ahead and share, you know, and do some things that me and my dad never got to do. But it didn't happen because tomorrow's not promised. It didn't happen. That was really like, that was sad. And he was sitting in a regret, basically, that I pissed around, I played around, and I didn't do these things because I was just going to get around to it. That's a hurt piece. That's a hurt piece. And I'm sitting there, I literally sat there and I watched this scene and I'm waiting and I'm waiting and I'm waiting and I'm waiting for her to end, because there were times in the conversation where it was a natural response to embrace your husband. He wouldn't even have to be your husband, but embrace him. Even if he was just my friend, I wanted to go grab him up my goddamn self. You could see in him that he was ready to break. Like he was visually, coming apart. And she's standing there looking at him. And now you're on camera too. And you're looking at him. And it wasn't even a natural thing for her to embrace him. I don't even know this joker. And I felt the need to embrace him because that's a natural thing. But it ain't natural for her. You know why? Because she don't like that motherfucker. She don't like him. She does not like him. Love him, yes. But she don't like his black ass. She don't like him. And then she said, you know, you can cry if you want to. I was done. These people they don't have no business being married at all. At all. And that's all I got to say. Please leave your comments because I am really intrigued to see what you guys have to say about that. But yeah, I wanted to embrace him and not for, you know, anything else other than it just was a natural instinct. You see someone getting ready to crumble, male or female. Has nothing to do with sexuality, lust, nothing. You embrace them. Everything human responds to a hug. Everything. Everything that looks like this. Do you see that? That's a vein. There's blood in there. Everything that has blood and veins and talks back to you. Everything human. And some things not human. Even dogs and cats. They respond to hugs when there's an issue. If you got, even a dog, if you have a dog and a dog cries and whimpers, you hug it, it stops. The fuck? What's wrong with you all? Anyway, love to hear what you guys have to say. Please go ahead and comment on that. So, okay, so then we got this other party. Lauren decides to throw a party for Portia, just to basically celebrate what's going on. And this all was kicked off because Portia has been arrested for now a second time. Okay, so Lauren was calling around and she was giving out the invitations. It was going to be a surprise party for Portia. The girls actually had Portia out and they were having Tanya, that's who the third person. I knew there was somebody else that wouldn't come if Kenya was involved. Tanya, it was Tanya. So they're all out. Marlo, Tanya, they're all out together with Portia having a good time. Lauren has go ahead and turn the backyard over and got everything together so they could social distance and everything, which when we got to the party, look, they wasn't social distance worth a damn. They wasn't social distanced worth a damn. If one of them would have had a lingering cough, they'd all be on ventilators, honey, because they wasn't social distance worth a damn. But anyway, that's a whole nother story, and not a mask inside, whatever. Anyway, so she's getting the party together. But when they were doing the invitations, they were calling them around, getting it together. There was a phone call made. Candy had actually asked if she could bring +1, which her +1 was going to be LaToya. Cynthia asked if she could do +1 at Kenya. Lauren at the time said, you know, I don't know about Kenya because she ain't invited. Cynthia basically begged for her. She says, you know what? Okay, go ahead and bring her. Well, as the day actually approached, Kenya was really in. Kenya's been in a good spot. She was still in that good spot she had been throughout the whole episode. Even though she had made a couple comments, you know, about Portia, whatever, it was no big deal. But she was in this really good mood. She got her hair all done. Her hair was real pretty too. Got her hair all done, got her makeup done, and she's sitting there getting ready to get her clothes on. And then the phone call comes through. Lauren done called through and told Cynthia, you know what? Scratch that. Don't bring Kenya. I just don't trust it, and I just ain't gonna chance it. This is about Portia, so I'm not gonna chance it. So she rescinded the invite. Kenya was all ready to go. She had even bought a doll. There was a doll that she had bought, a Rosa Parks doll she had bought, which is really shady because you're questioning Portia's efforts, though you bought a Rosa Parks doll to give to Pilar as a birthday present. So you're straddling the fence and being fake, how people do. People act like they're really down for what it is that you're doing, but they're not really down with it. They ain't with it at all. They just full of shit. Fake. That's fake. So that was that. But anyway, so she goes through this whole thing of like, really? I mean, I was really good, and that was true. Now that was true. That was genuine. I really was like she was looking forward to it. She was all happy. She was more happy about going to the party than damn Cynthia. But her face was cracked. So that was it. She's like, well, I'm going to send a gift with you, Cynthia. That ain't nothing but, see, when she said she was sending the gift with Cynthia, I said, here go the shit. Because from here on out, Kenya and Portia is getting ready to be at it. Y'all can believe that. They're getting ready to be at it. And this ain't even Portia's fault. This was Lauren. Portia don't even know. It's a surprise party. And Kenya knew that it was a surprise party. So why are you mad at Portia? Portia ain't do nothing. Portia ain't did a thing. Now Portia, she fake too. Okay? Because she don't really like Kenya still. You know, the relationship is fake. It's a working relationship. Period. Two hoes don't like each other. Because she did a confessional. When they got to the party and Cynthia gave the gift, she did a confessional and was like, But again, why was it so important that you send the gift with Cynthia? You could have mailed that gift because the gift wasn't bought for this. The gift was actually bought for Pilar's birthday, which had already passed. And due to COVID, that was canceled. You could have mailed the gift. And you didn't. It wasn't no big deal that it had to go that day. But you did that, Kenya, because you setting up for your bullshit because you know you get ready to get the bitch. That's what that was about. And y'all better believe it. It didn't happen in this episode, but y'all better believe coming forward, Kenya's going to get Portia, and I'll be willing to put money on it. She's going to get her, and it's going to have something to do with that baby doll and some other shit. That's just the open to the close. That's all. She already get her, honey. They're going to be feuding again. But anyway, so they both shading each other. You know, they do what they do, both of them. Kenya was mad as hell. Her face was cracked, and she was embarrassed. And she said to production, somebody's going to pay for my hair and my makeup. I said, oh, not the rich bitch. Girl, somebody got to pay for your hair and your makeup. Okay. Right. Girl, she was mad, honey. So she went in full petty. Honey, you're going to make me waste my damn money, and I want my $25 back. I said, all right, girl. She wanted her money back for her wash and set, honey. Damn it. So I just kind of laughed at that. I was like, And then she went forth and said, and it's always a thing of her getting it. She always seems to get arrested on camera. I just think it's fake and self-serving is what I think. She just doing it. It's fake anyway. It's all for a camera op. I said, oh. So those were your things about the party anyway. And Candy was like, well, you got it. You know, what she called Candy to tell. Okay. Candy was like, well, you know, just look at it like this. You know, they're trying to do something for her and they just scared of anybody that might say something like that. I wasn't going to say nothing. Then Candy, honey, roll that beautiful Bing footage, honey, of 3 situations where girl you spoke out of turn, honey, because that's what you do. Kenya Moore hair care and all that bullshit. Shady Andy and Shady Candy, honey. I said, okay, a mess. So that was that. And then we're not going to sit here and talk about the party and how we had to get up and make a speech. Go ahead and say shame on me again. Whatever. I'm just going to leave that right there. I'm going to leave that right there. Anyway, that's it. I've talked long enough. Leave your comments. I'm sure they're going to be interesting. I look forward to it. And I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.